Yamaha's MotoGP project continues to face intense scrutiny after another underwhelming season in 2025, and few riders have felt the frustration more acutely than Fabio Quartararo. Once the benchmark of the paddock, the 2021 world champion has been left fighting an increasingly uphill battle as the M1 fails to deliver the tools required to challenge consistently at the front. Despite showing flashes of brilliance including 5 pole positions and 3 podium finishes, Quartararo's overall campaign has fallen far short of expectations. For a rider accustomed to battling for victories, merely scraping into the top positions has become a difficult reality to accept. While the Frenchman has openly voiced his disappointment throughout the season, fellow MotoGP rider Jack Miller has now offered a revealing insight into the deeper issues holding both Quartararo and the Yamaha M1 back. Miller was quick to underline Quartararo's exceptional ability, particularly over a single lap. "He's special," Miller said. "Over a single lap, in terms of talent, it oozes out of him." Quartararo's qualifying performances remain among the strongest on the grid, reinforcing his reputation as one of MotoGP's elite riders. However, raw talent alone is no longer enough in a championship defined by aggressive overtaking, tyre management, and aerodynamic efficiency. According to Miller, the Yamaha M1's limitations made it extremely difficult for Quartararo to exploit his strengths in race conditions. "It's just a shame the bike hasn't been much fun to ride," Miller explained. "It wasn't very intuitive when you were in a pack. You had to ride very precisely, and in terms of line changes and things like that, it didn't digest them." One of Quartararo's biggest weapons has always been his late braking and precision corner entry. Yet the characteristics of Yamaha's inline-4 machine often neutralize this advantage. "You couldn't brake a little later or square off the corner to protect your line," Miller said. "If you want to try and overtake, it's pretty much impossible unless there's a mistake." In modern MotoGP, where close-quarters racing and aggressive moves are essential, a bike that struggles in traffic is a major handicap. Quartararo was frequently forced into a defensive riding style, unable to attack rivals or protect his position effectively. This explains why his stunning pole positions often failed to convert into strong race results. With his qualifying, Miller added, if he had a bike with which to attack or defend a bit better, life would be a lot easier. Quartararo himself has repeatedly highlighted the lack of rear grip as a critical weakness of the M1. Poor traction on corner exit not only compromises acceleration but also exposes Yamaha's lack of top-end power on the straights. In an era where Ducati's V4 machines dominate with explosive acceleration and superior aerodynamics, Yamaha's inline-4 engine has struggled to keep pace. The result? Quartararo often found himself losing positions despite executing clean, fast laps. Improving rear grip, corner exit stability, and straight-line speed have therefore become Yamaha's key objectives heading into 2026. For the first time in its modern MotoGP history, Yamaha is preparing to introduce a V4 engine prototype in 2026, a radical shift from its long-standing inline-4 philosophy. Early testing, however, has not exactly filled Quartararo with confidence. The Frenchman's muted reaction suggests that significant work remains before the new bike becomes a genuine contender. Miller, on the other hand, has chosen to adopt a more optimistic outlook, emphasizing that development takes time and that Yamaha's engineers are fully committed to the project. Pre-season testing and the opening races of 2026 will be crucial in determining whether the V4 can finally restore Yamaha to the front of the grid. Adding to the sense of urgency, Miller's crew chief Giacomo Guidotti has travelled to Japan to oversee the assembly and development of Yamaha's new machinery. This hands-on involvement highlights the scale of Yamaha's effort to close the gap to Ducati, KTM and Aprilia. The Japanese manufacturer knows the time is running out. Quartararo remains one of MotoGP's most valuable assets, but even the most loyal riders can lose patience when results fail to materialize. Quartararo's anger is not simply emotional, it reflects a rider who knows he is capable of more. His talent has never been in doubt, but MotoGP is a sport where machinery and rider must operate in perfect harmony. If Yamaha's Viv4 project succeeds, it could mark the beginning of a new era. If it fails, the pressure on both the team and its star rider will only intensify. For now, the paddock watches closely as Yamaha prepares for its biggest technical gamble in decades, and Quartararo waits to see if his patience will finally be rewarded. Beyond the technical shortcomings, Quartararo's growing frustration also reflects a wider cultural shift within Yamaha's MotoGP project. For years, the team relied on smooth handling and rider finesse rather than brute performance. However, the modern MotoGP landscape now rewards aggression, power, and adaptability, areas where Yamaha has struggled to evolve quickly enough. The Frenchman situation is particularly painful because his peak years are unfolding during a period of transition for the manufacturer. At 26, Quartararo should be fighting for world titles, not leading development programs. Every season spent waiting for progress risks wasting the prime of a generational talent. Internally, Yamaha engineers are under immense pressure to deliver results. The move to a V4 engine is not just a technical decision, it is a statement of intent. It acknowledges that the old philosophy is no longer sufficient against rivals who have mastered aerodynamics, ride height devices, and explosive power delivery. Yet changing an engine layout is only the beginning. The real challenge lies in refining the bike's balance, electronics, and tyre behavior to suit Quartararo's riding style. Without this harmony, even the most powerful engine will fail to produce consistent results on race day. Meanwhile, rival manufacturers continue to push the limits. Ducati's dominance is built on relentless development, while KTM and Aprilia have made rapid gains through bold innovation. Yamaha, by contrast, has been forced to play catch-up, a role unfamiliar to a brand with such a proud racing heritage. For Quartararo, the mental battle is just as demanding as the physical one. Week after week, he delivers maximum effort, only to be constrained by machinery that cannot always match his ambition. Such circumstances test a rider's patience, motivation, and long-term loyalty. The coming months will therefore be decisive. Pre-season testing will offer the first real indication of whether Yamaha's new direction can close the performance gap. If meaningful progress is visible, belief may return. If not, difficult questions will inevitably follow.